Picture this. My husband walks downstairs, his jaw drops, the wall is gone, the drywall is shredded, and he sees dollar signs flying out the window. He's like, "What did you do?" For a second, I did think I totally ruined our living room. But here's a twist. What I thought was a total disaster turned into the easiest IKEA hack ever. And not only did it fix the wall, it gave us the storage, space, style that a contractor would charge like $5,000 for. And we did it all for under $900. So today I'm taking you step by step through it, the mistakes I made, how I turned it around, and how you can do the same thing in your home. And stick around because at the end, I'm showing you how I'm planning my next project using an app and a design trick that makes sure nothing is to chance. And real quick, please click that subscribe button so I can teach you all the DIY techniques I've learned. Thanks. Okay, so let's back up for a second. We've lived in this house for 3 years. When we first moved in, I had a newborn baby. And if you've ever had a newborn, you know you're not really thinking about interior design. You're thinking, where can I put this couch so that I can collapse onto it? So our living room ended with what I call survival mode. The TV was shoved in the corner. The couch was 11 feet long because it looked comfy. And here's the problem. The couch blocked the entrance. And if I moved it, it blocked the other way. So we had this awkward walkway where you had to squeeze like a crab to get through. And don't even get me started on the unfinished trim. The last owners slapped chair rail wainscoting around here before they left. I never liked it. I thought it belonged in the dining room, not in here. And every time I walked through it, I thought, this doesn't feel right. I don't like it here, and it's not even finished. So tell me in the comments, what's one room that doesn't flow in your house? So one day I snapped. I grabbed a crowbar and I ripped it all off. Here's the horror. The previous owners hadn't just used nails. They used liquid nails. If you've never dealt with that, imagine glue so strong, it bonds straight to the drywall. So when I pulled it off, giant chunks of drywall came with it. We're talking gashes, paper ripped off, deep holes everywhere. I stood there thinking, what have I done? But I didn't tell my husband that. I told him I had it all together. But he walked in right as I did it, and he sees me standing in front of a destroyed wall, and I could see in his eyes that he's freaking out, and he suggests we need to call a contractor, and this is going to cost us thousands. And I honestly was kind of thinking the same thing. Fun fact, the average quote for a drywall repair and custom built-in Fairfax, Virginia is about $4,000 to $5,000. We were about to spend that, and then I said, nope, I'll fix it myself. Would you have stopped here or kept going? I ran to Home Depot, bought spackle, bought wall smoothing compound, and if you've ever done drywall work, you know it's like frosting a cake, a giant cake. And I was up until midnight, spreading, sanding again, and no matter what I did, the wall still looked lumpy. So my husband walked in and he thought, there's no way you're going to make this wall smooth again. And then I actually did believe him at that point. And then because I realized even if I made it perfectly smooth, it would never, even if I made it smooth, it would never look like the rest of the room. So I had two choices: spend weeks with this drywall repair or pivot. And thank goodness I pivoted. I did what I always do, Pinterest. I typed in living room storage wall, and then suddenly it hit me. Why not cover the damage completely with built-ins? But here's the problem. Built-ins are expensive. So I thought, what about IKEA? I measured my wall. It was 12 feet. And so then I started digging through IKEA's website. Cabinets, shelves, bookcase, and then I found it. The Brimnes cabinets, $99 each. Okay, they were the perfect depth, 16 inches. So I lined up 3 matching cabinets, which are these $99 Brimnes bookshelves. They're so nice. And then 2 bookcases for $129 each. One here and one down there. And boom, the math worked, okay? I had a plan. And instead of spending thousands, I was going to spend $650 with delivery. But can you really turn flat pack IKEA cabinets into custom built-ins? Let's find out. The delivery came, $20 to ship them. IKEA boxes stacked in my living room. I put them together with my husband, and it was actually kind of fun. I don't find IKEA to be that difficult. And then we secured them to the wall. My husband was very helpful with that. And then here's where the magic happened. The cabinets were a little smaller than the total size of the unit was slightly shorter than the wall length, so it left some gaps on the side. So I used these trim boards from Home Depot, filled the gaps, caulked, and then painted. Suddenly, it looked custom. We even ran the TV cords behind the wall, so nothing showed. And when the TV went up, it felt like a real built-in. And the storage, game changer. Blankets, toys, books, everything had a place. It's really messy, but here are the toys. My daughter walked in and said, "Mommy, it looks so big in here." And she was right, because once the cabinets moved in, we could finally move the couch to the other corner. And then we had 2 chairs. And then this awkward room finally felt like it belonged to us. Let's see. Here's the couch in the corner, and then 2 chairs and the built-in. Okay, so let me give you the numbers. Contractor quote, $5,000 to $6,000. IKEA, $650. And then we did $200 for the countertop, for the sconces on top. There's 2 of them. And then caulk, paint, and trim boards. So $20 delivery fee, so $870. And now we have storage, a better flow, and a space that works for our family. All because I destroyed a wall and decided not to give up. So here's my question for you. Would you rather spend $6,000 or try an $850 IKEA hack that looks just as good? If this gave you some ideas for your home, do me a favor, drop a comment and tell me what's your favorite remodel project. And if you want more, I've got 2 more videos. I think you'll love. One where I show you how to turn any room into a 3D layout without scanning it, and another where I break down exactly how we furnished the space with the budget and the links. So hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video where I'll share the design app I use to plan every single project. Thanks for watching, and remember, the biggest mistakes can turn into the best hacks.